I want to start with the story of a very interesting gentleman that I met about 6, 7 years ago in a remote village near Gadag. So, this is about 60 kilometers from Gadag, a small village of 5,000 people. And Manjunath is a carpenter there, right? He's probably the only carpenter in that town. And he's the only guy who had a three-phase power because he was running a planing machine and stuff like that. So I was visiting that village, stopped by, met him, and in a series of conversations, I was asking him, so how do you get customers? Right? He had two helpers working with him, and he says, listen, I'm doing about 20, 30 orders a month. And the obvious question to me as a sales guy was, how do you find customers? So he posed the question back to me saying, oh, if you're in my place, how will you find customers? Right? And I want to ask you the same question. Imagine if you're in a small village of 5,000 people, you're running a small carpentry shop, you make furnitures, you make sofa sets, you make beds, you make dining tables, right? And how will you find customers? Any ideas? Go every home. Okay? I told him the same thing. He says, who will make furniture? Right? I don't have time to visit every home. In fact, I told him, oh, will you put a hoarding near a bus stand? He laughed and said, do you think I have that much money to put up a hoarding? So I was flummoxed to say, okay, how will you find customers? And then he told me something which I remember so vividly even now. He said, when I get an order and I complete the order, the customer gives me 200, 300 rupees to put that stuff on a tractor, a sofa or a chair or whatever, and I deliver it to the customer's home. He says, I pay the tractor another 100 rupees more and ask the tractor to take the most circuitous route to get to that home, right? Instead of going straight, he will stop by 3, 4 villages. He says, I put my nephew on that tractor. He has a plate and a stick. He'll beat that drum. When it stops at a village square, this guy beats the drum, people come, and this guy says, oh, this sofa, is being sold to this guy in this village. If you want a sofa like this, call my uncle. He says, every delivery I make, I get at least 10 phone calls and I convert 3, 4 of them, right? If that is not entrepreneurial thinking, what else is? And I want to share with you that the richness of the country lies in this kind of an entrepreneurial thinking. And I believe that every young person must think entrepreneurially and eventually must be an entrepreneur. And there is a reason. It is just not for the thrill, for the risks, to make money, but it is also, I think, especially for those of us in this room, it is also a responsibility. And I'll tell you why that is. India will produce in the next 10 years, 15 years, and continues to produce about 10 to 12 million youngsters like you who enter the workforce every year. That's almost at the rate of 1 million a month. That's going to continue for the next 20, 25 years. In the next 15, 20 years, 150 million youngsters like you will enter the workforce. All of us have dreams in our hearts, aspirations. We want better lives. We want a bigger TV. We want a better car or whatever, right? But where are the jobs? The government, public sector, private sector, all put together today employs less than 50 million people. Even out of the 150 million people, let's say 20, 30 million people get jobs. What happens to the remaining 120 million people? It's a huge question because they see the same WhatsApp messages you see, the same Facebook posts that I see. Everybody wants a better life. Where will that better life come from? The better life will come only if we can create another 10 to 15 million young entrepreneurs who can create 10 to 15 jobs each, right? I'm not talking about unicorns. I'm talking about what I call as nanocons. We as a nation need to create 10 million young entrepreneurs the next 10, 15 years who can create 15 to 20 jobs each. You could be running a small bakery, a laundry shop, a grocery store, a dhaba, it doesn't matter. What matters is quality of jobs that are being created, right? And our mission at TIE is to foster entrepreneurship. And that mission is all about enabling young people like you to become entrepreneurs. And remember, being an entrepreneur is not necessarily being a startup. What India needs is, I believe, not another 1,000 more unicorns, but we need another 100,000 more nanocons to start with, right? And that power is here. And of course, as you start growing the business, you can become a nanocon, unicorn, sunicorn, popcorn, whatever con that you wish to be. It doesn't matter, right? And that is the mission that we are working on very passionately. I've been an entrepreneur the last 25 years, and I have benefited hugely by the power and the love of a community, of an ecosystem around me. And for all of us at TIE, there are a lot of our charter members here in this auditorium, it's payback time, right? And we want to pay it forward. That's what we're doing. So what we believe is that to create that level of entrepreneurship in the country, we need to light a spark. This conversation is one such spark we are lighting. We need to light millions of sparks. And the spark will only get ignited if more and more people come together. By the way, this is Ekam in the Sanskrit, in the Devanagari script. We need to come together as one. Of course, you as entrepreneurs, but the academic institutions, the ecosystem actors, governments, public sector banks, everybody needs to come together and make it a mission. So when we were thinking of the Thai Global Summit that Lakshmi was alluding to, we said, what better way to celebrate this? And this is the visual identity we created, that if you put the lighting of the spark and all of us coming together, this is the visual identity that we came out saying, let's ignite the spark of entrepreneurship together. And that to me is what the Thai Global Summit that we're doing between the 9th and 12th of December in Bangalore and Mysore is all about. Our objective at being Bangalore, the heartbeat of the entrepreneurial nation that we have, is we want to make it the world's largest and the loudest celebration of entrepreneurship. And that's our vision. It's not a few of us doing this, it's all our event. Sometimes I get very tired of going to the valley and keep on listening, oh, you're from Bangalore, the Silicon Valley of the East. After this event, I want to go there and I want people to say, oh, you're from Silicon Valley, the Bangalore of the West. And I think that's the opportunity that we have. The power of entrepreneurship that resides here, I think we are taking a different path from the Western path, right? One, especially young people that I meet today are coming with a lot more purpose-driven entrepreneurship, right? I'm thrilled when I have conversations with folks like both the Richards, right? You never heard the term valuation. Actually, in many of the talks, we never heard the term valuation, value, that I'm going to be a billionaire. We are all trying to make a difference. I think India is blessed to have entrepreneurs who are thinking from the heart, who are thinking with purpose first. Profitability has to come, right? We can't rely on charity all along, but purpose first is very important. Secondly, we're seeing a lot of domestic capital come into play, right? It's just not foreign money, but lots of philanthropists in India, lots of family offices in India are willing to loosen the purse strings and support initiatives like this. Third, technology democratization is playing a huge role. I'm sure all of you have used UPI at least once a day, right? And now you have ONDC, OCAN, a lot of these 3-letter, 4-letter acronyms are coming together. Technology will be available at the last mile all the time, right? So you don't have to be a technologist to build a business. You have to know how to use technology better. And AI will play a massive role there. So I believe that when you combine these three forces, there is really a new wave of entrepreneurship that India will unleash. And this wave will not be just relevant in India, it will be relevant across the world, right? And that is our moment. So which is why we want to make this as the Olympics of entrepreneurship. It is just not just India and Bangalore alone. We are getting about participation from 35, 40 countries coming in. We are getting young entrepreneurs from several countries who are coming in. This morning I got a call from an entrepreneur in Ghana who heard of this event and said, can we come? I said, please do, right? The more the merrier. Let's see how we can all work together. And therefore, the other visualization that we have as Olympics of Entrepreneurship is to bring as many youngsters as possible to come to be a part of this show. The theme that we have chosen for the event is putting entrepreneurship first. As policymakers, as academic institutions, and as youngsters, I saw a few hands going up when Lakshmi asked, how many of you want to become entrepreneurs? My dream is at the end of this event, I want every hand to go up to say, at some point of time or the other, I want to be an entrepreneur, because that is the maximum impact and bang for the buck that you can create with the lives that we have, right? And that's the theme that we have chosen to say, let us democratize entrepreneurship. Everybody can become an entrepreneur, and how do we enable that to happen? You can visit our site. We're having a range of events. 9th, 10th, 11th is Bangalore, 12th is Mysuru. We're celebrating cultural entrepreneurship at Mysore. I heard a very interesting statistic a few weeks ago when I was in the US. Somebody told me that there are more yoga centers in the US than McDonald's. I thought that's a fantastic power that we have exported from India to create so many soft power of yoga that we have taken out from one of the cultural centers for yoga is Mysore, right? And we're going to celebrate cultural entrepreneurship there. We've been sending out personalized invitations to various leaders across the world, interestingly made by artisans from Mysore on the Mysore inlay artwork. We are proud to have Mighty coming on board as a supporting partner. Of course, the state government is very much a partner in the Thai Global Summit. Several speakers are getting confirmed. We were whispering till yesterday, but today we can officially announce that one of my most inspirational sport icons in the world is going to be with us at TGS, all thanks to Lakshmi's persuasive power. Several events are being planned. I won't get into the details, but just remember that we are building a very, very youth-centric conclave. We're creating a property called Adventures, not adventures, but adventures on how do you get education institutions to be more entrepreneurial. We are doing the TGS 100 Awards, the Global Awards, lots of stuff happening with pavilions, chapter showcases, experience zones, etc., etc. Variety of domains happening all over the place. What I also believe is that as youth and as a society, we need to solve not just for entrepreneurship, but for climate change. Every business that we do must be climate friendly. Even if we are not making one bit of a difference, at least we should avoid taking harm to the society around us and to the planet. So one of the things that we are doing is taking a green flame of entrepreneurship across the country. This is the pledge that we want 100,000 youth to take, that whatever I do, I will do it in such a way that it will benefit both people and planet. So we want all of you to take this pledge. For every 100 pledges that we take, we are planting a tree in Bangalore so that we can at least make our event a net zero event. We've also partnered with DPIIT and with an entity with an event in Delhi that we called Startup Mahakumbh to launch a 30-hour online program for entrepreneurship. It is called Futurepreneurs Program. This is a free program that we have launched where 30 of our entrepreneurs are teaching you basics of how to build a business. Again, my colleagues are out there. You can scan the QR code. Please sign up for this program. The top 300 students who finish this program will be invited to participate at the Thai Global Summit and will be given a pride of place. We have several colleges that are already participating. I would request all of you to be a part of this journey. And before I end, I want to leave you guys with a challenge, which is in the next 7 days, from wherever you stay, your residence, can you go and talk to 3 entrepreneurs? Many times when you go to buy milk, vegetables, bakery products, we look at them as a business, but we don't look at them as an entrepreneur. So when you go to a shop next time, can you spend 5 minutes, talk to the owner, talk to the entrepreneur there and ask him how his or her life is. Ask her saying, hey, what is your entrepreneurial lesson? What can I learn from you? Right? What do you think is an advice? If I start my own business, what is your advice to me? What I want you to do is, of the 3-4 conversations you have, pick the most inspirational conversation you have, put a post. You can post it on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and tag me and tag Thai. We will keep a track. The 100 most inspirational stories that are shared will get a special gift from all of us. Right? So can you do this? And when you're talking to this entrepreneur, to her, please also share your gratitude for what they're doing to make our lives better. Right? I think this is what is required to build an entrepreneurial society, that we need to celebrate entrepreneurs who struggle day in and day out to make both ends meet, who have aspirations at their heart, and we need to applaud them. So for all the entrepreneurs, I just want you to take 10 seconds, close your eyes, and visualize an entrepreneur that you've met in the last 2 days. Can we do that? Okay, and let's give them a huge round of applause for doing what they're doing.